welcome back to the stream. By the way, I'm gonna play real quick though, and then I will come back. Also, I got a few mocks in a few days. Wish me luck. I'm wishing you luck, and I'll wish you luck when you come back. Big up to you, see if there's the lights, get a bit more blue going on. Man, I'm so happy that City are back. I've been making content a bit more recently because finally getting back onto it. Not fully back though. And this will 100% help get the consistency fully back. And yeah, I'm happy about it, man. We've got a big game tomorrow at 3 p.m. Against Everton, And it is a big game. Everton are a good team, not to be underestimated. I don't think you need me to tell you that. By the way, don't judge me for wearing 1, 2, 3 layers. It's a cold day today, so I got to wrap up warm. Although I'm feeling pretty warm right now, so I might take off one. But anyways, big up 70s tuning again. Let's really delve into this because we got some decisions to make. Players coming back from injury that you might want in this squad, although you might feel like that their time out the squad has deemed them, I guess, almost a bit unworthy of quite coming back just yet. So, let's see where that leaves us after we form this 11. But nonetheless, Blues, I hope we are all feeling great. Let me know who you want to see in the team, by the way, Is that the Etihad? It's really important, by the way, that we start off really, really well here, It's straight off the back of the international break. The last thing we want to see is, the fan base is doing a little bit better, because we've been actually playing decently well. We're unbeaten in 7. Last thing we need now is like an awful game to ruin the rhythm. You get me? So we could really use a win here. That is certain. So let's roll with this. So just doing the match day graphics or the lineup builder stuff, just to make that look all fancy. Shall I share my screen now, Blues? Here we go. Okay, just got a ad for some ring. I can confirm I'm not interested in it. The ring I'm interested in. But anyway, this is the blank slate. I'm not too keen on the job I've done on those arms. If I'm honest with you, let's fix that up. Make that match a tad more. Oh, that'll do. That'll do. But anyway, let's crack on. All right, Everton, they're a good team. Let's have a look at their starting 11s of their last big games. So, Everton vs Palace, this would have been a big game because they're obviously a good team. Key things to mention in this is that Jackie Grealish, our former number 10 as of now, and Everton's current number 18 will not feature in this game. 5 goal contributions for Everton this season. He's obviously a bit of a key cog in the team at the moment, so he will not be present in tomorrow's game due to him being tied. Now then, another player that's been doing pretty well, that one we'll have to look out for. I can't see him in this starting 11. Whether that means he's got sent off or not, I'm not too sure. But his name is Dewsbury Hall. He's been doing very, very good for Everton this season. So he's definitely one that we've got to look out for because, again, he's just having a good season, Much as Everton are a whole, to be fair. They've been doing very, very well. Let me double check where they are in the league real quick. Click onto here. They are 8th in the league, just 2 points behind us. We lose this game, they're ahead of us. We can't afford to do that. So this season, blinking at lads. Here we go. This season, he's on 2 G&A for them, but I do believe he's just having real solid games in that midfield, helping tie up everything together. And he just seems to be forming a decent partnership with Jack Grealish, to be fair, who, again, not featuring, which is only good for us. He's doing very, very good. So I'm glad to see seen Jack Grealish in the team, although I suspect he'll be at the Etihad watching and I guess cheering on Everton. That is his current team at the moment. He's got to back them. So, yeah, Jack Grealish is not going to be in that one. But overall, he will be in the team. Now then, let's jump straight into this. Now, I'll be honest with you, lads. I don't want to see anything too different from what we've been running. Because, in my opinion, if it's working, play it. If it's not, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's my policy, I guess. So, I'm sticking Donnarumma in goal. I'm going O'Reilly left back. He's an absolutely top player. He's getting a lot of recognition this season already. I've seen a lot more people talking about him. He got called up to England. He's doing stuff at the moment, O'Reilly. And people are really seeing it now. And I'm glad about that. Because he's doing really good jobs for, again, a midfielder playing at left back. For me, the back four is pretty straightforward. Now then, confirmation in this game, by the way. There will be no Rodri in this game. He's not in the squad. Pep Guardiola has confirmed that. He is officially injured. So how long he's out for? Not even he knows that yet. So I'll be honest with you, lads. Rodri could even be out next week. So we need to adjust to life without Rodri quite quickly. For me, I think you've got to have Reinders in the team. He's a key cog. We all know that. You've got to have Reinders. For me, it's all about who you play along next to him. Now then, your options are not plentiful. They're either Bernardo Silva, Mateo Kovacic, or Nico Gonzalez. Now there's good stuff to all of those. Nico Gonzalez, not as experienced as the other two, probably doesn't quite have that know-how of playing such a role just yet. So, he's not quite fully adjusted to the team, I guess, or maybe isn't quite at the level. Although, to be fair, I think he's a pretty good player, so he could very well go in there, and I think a double pivot can work. Bernardo obviously got the know-how, and in a midfield like the midfield we're going to be playing, I don't think it would be too bad, but ultimately he's not a CDM. Okay, he's a player that can help you fill it out. But again, he's not a Rodri. It's not his position. He can play a bit of everything, to be fair to him, but it's not his position. And then there's Kovacic, who, to be honest, I'm not too sure where I put Kova. Because Kova, for me, is a little bit like Reinders, good at dragging the ball forward, okay, and can pop up with a goal or an assist here and there. Okay, for Kova, it's more likely a goal, and to be fair, Reinders probably should have another goal or two by now, considering some of the chances we've seen, but I'm not going to go in for it. It's not cost us games, to my knowledge. But ultimately, in this pivot, I think we're going to go... I think we're going to run Nico. But I do think Bernardo will be in this team. I think Foden at the cam is a bit of an obvious choice at the moment. It's either him or Shaki. And I don't really want to quite throw Shirky straight in, into a big game like this without him, I've had many minutes, he's only really just started training. Left wing, again, I'm pretty sure he had a decent international break. He's doing pretty good at the moment for us and Belgium, to my knowledge. And, Jeremy Doku back in the team again. Now, you could argue Marmoush. Of course, that argument is there. He could play off the right. I don't really like a right-wing Marmoush, if I'm honest. Now, the right wing and the right back are like the two areas where I'm not really sure on at the moment. I think it will probably be Bernardo. I think it will probably be Bernardo Silva on the right. I think that's more likely than anything. And as for right back, there isn't too many areas you can really put just trying to think of what Everton are really offering down the left, because I think David Moyes is a smart enough coach to exploit our right hand side, because there's no denying our right hand side is a weaker area. Teams have weaknesses, and at the moment the right back area is a bit of a weakness, especially with no Kusanov. And so down the left would usually be Jack Grealish. So who do I want instead? Jack Grealish. Who do I want there to play instead? I go to the Wolves lineup. Ed McNeil on the left against Wolves, but they lost that game. To be fair, it's the EFL Cup, and I'm pretty sure they did have a pretty rotated team, so it's not horrifically surprising, in fairness. So it will probably be McNeil. I'll go back to Everton's first game, because I don't think Jack played in the first game of the season. Let's have a look. What would it have been? The 1-0 defeat. I believe he came on right at the end. Ndiaye. So Ndiaye, Grealish. Although I'm pretty sure Ndiaye will be in the team either way, one way or the other. I'm pretty sure he is a bit of a key cog. Yeah, he's a bit more of the cam. I think I trust Nunes. Now I go John Stones. I'll switch up. I think Moyes is a pretty smart coach, and I think he would try and exploit this. So I think I'd rather run this. It'll look like this in a game, probably, when we're on the ball. Probably looks something like this. Okay, and then O'Reilly drops back down. He's a left back. I think I go for that, Not too many other options. Again, right wing, I would love to see Cherki. I'd love to see Cherki, but I don't think it's quite fair to really chuck him into a game like this, if I'm honest. It's at the Etihad, which does benefit him. If it was away from home, it'd be an absolute all-out no. There is Bob, there is Savinho, there are options, but there's no one that's really nailed it. Haaland, obviously, that right-hand side is his. No, Haaland, the up top for Haaland is his. Goalkeeper, Donnarumma's. Left back, it's O'Reilly's. Vardiol and Diaz are owning the centre-back spot right now. So there are players that have taken positions and have held on to it this season. Taki, Arsenal fan 18, welcome to the chat, bro. Sure, you can invite everyone, Taki Arsenal fans to tune in. Now that's the end of my predicted 11. Let's have a look here. Now then, as for Kusanov's return, apparently confirmed here that Kusanov's return to action could be delayed by another week, and he will not be available for Everton this weekend. So there you go. Keep going. Josko's minutes. He's young, physicality, but more importantly, you cannot forget last season was maybe one of the most important players. He was absolutely, no Rodri, he was so good for us. After he suffered it in pre-season, end of season, Club World Cup, beginning of the season, had some problems with the knees. He's getting better, young, physically outstanding. He can play two roles perfectly, but we all spoke together. From my point of view, he has a big margin to improve as a player, and that's good, him saying that, big up to Alicia, him saying that to a player that's so key, and about a player that's so key as Vardiol, it is really, really good. It's keeping them on their toes, because if Pep was saying to him, "Oh, you're the greatest centre-back I've ever known," You know, she probably isn't, to be fair. You know, great centre back ever. You know, nothing, you can do nothing wrong. You know, you're absolutely incredible. You know, if he was just saying all that constantly, players wouldn't improve. Okay, but like, you know, he's obviously had chats of him. Okay, and he's saying like Vardio's really, really good, but he's still got so much he can improve on. And the fact that he's saying he can improve on it just means that he believes that he will. I'm back. My lineup for tomorrow: 4-2-3-1. Let's hear it, bro. And then I'll show you mine. Well, you can always zoom back, and we'll see how much we agree on. In every game, we are a little better. Trying to see Haaland's form. What it says when he's going to drop. What it says when he's going to drop, because it's impossible to sustain that. I will be there. We will be there. We have passion to help the team. Always we have to sustain in the bad moments. Right now, he doesn't need compliments. He doesn't need anything special. Yeah, I mean, again, he's going on about like the natural process of form. You know, you do drop in form. Nunes, Diaz, Vardy, Nico G, Reinders, Bernardo, Foden, Doku, Haaland. Good thing Jack Grealish won't be available for us tomorrow. Yep, it's a blow for Everton, but it's a good thing for us. And we almost agree. I went for John Stones right back, mainly just because I don't want John Stones bombing up the right-hand side. Absolutely no way. If I want anyone to do that, it is Nunes. But I think David Moyes is a smart enough guy to exploit Nunes' right-hand side weakness. And so I think if we have John Stones, who to be fair is not a fullback, but is someone defensively sound, I think we can get away with it a bit. So, but I do get your point. Like, I literally had Nunes in, but I was like, nah, actually I'm going Stones. My gut just couldn't quite sit right with it. But, you know, Tarsif, it is our predictive them. It's not just mine. You know, we can combine. So I'll throw in Nunes and we can complete our predicted 11. Again, I think that's probably the best it's going to get. There's probably a couple things you can orientate. You know, I want to see Stones is just injury prone. Yeah, that's true. And it'll be good to not rely on him as well. You know, like the good thing is about this team is we're gonna be good going forward. Just depends how Everton approach this now as well. If they play low block, this will suit us quite well. But again, it does just depend. There's a couple other players you could probably slip in there, like right wing's quite interchangeable. This spot in the team is a bit interchangeable depending where you stand with Nico. But yeah, I think this is probably the best it's going to be. Now, Tarsif, in case by the way, Tarsif, I did already do it, but good luck on your exams, your mocks. Cristiano's return could be delayed by another week if you don't know, which is a shame, but oh well. Let's have a look. Marmoush and Aït-Nouri, they trained yesterday so much better, and they're close to coming back. Kovacic, it's a good news, and starting for 50, 60 minutes, step by step, he now has to give us quality moments, quality time, quality minutes, but step by step, it's important that he's back. And yeah, he's right, you know, can't rush him back. It's much like Shaki in that sense. Keep going, Tommy Doyle, 24. Let's keep going here. Here's some lads training. Haaland back in Manchester. Oh no, huge breaking news for us. It's very bad. I mean, very bad. Donnarumma out for 2 weeks. Did you get scared? Blinking heck. If I read that when you initially put that, I probably would have. If Donnarumma got injured for 2 weeks, man, I don't know what I'd do. I think I'd actually cry or something, man. That'd be so bad. He's been so good for us. Easily probably the signing of the summer so far. If not him, then Reinders, you know. But he's just been so good. And for 26 mil as well. For that money, he probably is the best signing we've made. Yeah, but Reinder's out as well. By the way, guys, Elliot Anderson. I put him in my team of the season so far from Premier League. Not doing too bad for Nottingham Forest, as I put, and he's even on our radar now. He's been very, very good for them. Here's the post. He's been very, very good. So involved in everything they do. And to be fair, they are like 17th, so you could argue that's not much, but still, if he could have, I don't think he'd be a player to necessarily get a bunch of goal contributions, but a player's like link-up play is still such a key, crucial player for us. I'm not quite sure like the profile where I can match that. I don't know why it's for me feeling a bit like Bernardo esque, but not quite either. For me, it's Hugo Ekitike. I think in terms of money, the value for money, Hugo Ekitike has been brilliant for Liverpool. 90 million, I think they spent on him. Not dissing that, by the way. You should spend whatever amount of money you can if you believe that the player will come in and absolutely cook for you. And to be fair, this man has come in and he has absolutely cooked for Liverpool. 5 goals, 1 assist this season in 10 games. Those are not numbers to be sneered at. That's a goal contribution almost every 100 minutes for him. He's been very, very good. But I think in terms of the money that we spent on Donnarumma and the money that that Liverpool spent, you take money out of the equation, probably is Ekitike. But I think you put money into the equation. This guy costs 95 mil. I'm looking at it now. Donnarumma costs us like 26 for almost just under a third less of the money. A third of the money. Donnarumma has conceded a few goals. Won a save of the month and has just changed his team. Foden making World Cup team. I'd like for Foden to get called up because I think he's a top player, but we'll see, man. Big ups to you, Andy47. Haven't seen you here before, so big ups to you. But yeah, I'd absolutely love to see that. Score prediction for Liverpool vs Man United. Now then, actually, it's a good thing you brought up the watch-alongs, Talsif, because I do need to bring those up. I'm doing 2 watch-alongs this weekend. That's the good news, okay? If you like my watch-alongs, you're going to be very, very happy. On the bad news, I cannot watch Everton vs Man City simply because of I don't know where I can watch it. It's 3 p.m. kickoff, which means I just can't watch it. And as opposed to sitting there tracking the game like I usually do, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do Arsenal vs Fulham, which is at 5:30. And then the next day I'm doing Liverpool vs Man United. So you're getting 2 watch-alongs out of me. I do apologise for not being able to watch the Everton game. It's a shame because I think that's going to be a real good, interesting game. I think it should be televised, to be honest, over Arsenal vs Fulham. But, oh well. Of course I think that. I do like a watch-along. Don't know if I can be able to watch it because of my mocks. Hey, no worries, bro. School and whatnot comes first, man. Absolutely. So, absolutely good luck with your mocks and whatnot. But if you do want to stick the channel on, feel free. I ain't gonna stop you. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the watch-alongs for this weekend. So you are getting watch-alongs out of me, just can't do the Everton game. I'll record a reaction of it though. So you're getting that much at least. In terms of what else I can really talk about, we'll keep going here. We are looking. Oh gosh, that kit's going to be appearing next week, apparently. Can't really see much. O'Reilly's been included in the top 25 list for the Golden Boy Award. Big ups to him. Probably won't win it, but still he's good. I think we're caught up with what we actually went to last time, by the way, because I think this is literally where I got up to. But look, Rodri still out. Don't know when he's going to be back. Kusanov out for at least another week. Ait Nuri and Shirky and Marmoush are all well and truly training. Obviously, Shirky is, because he was in the squad before the end of the international break. But yeah, that's where we're currently at. Sometimes I'm too lazy to revise, but I try my best, and I do then. I'm just glad it came out. Hey man, I'll be honest with you real quick, Talsif. No, this isn't me trying to advise you. I hardly did revision either, if I'm honest, I do recommend you do. That was my mistake that I didn't. But I hardly revised, just kind of winged it. But we'll see. Will Rodri be available against Liverpool on the 9th of November? Still a long time, but not that long. Hopefully, he said the injury isn't that bad, which for me, a not that bad injury provides it means it'll be less than a month. Rodri got injured about 2 weeks ago, which means it should be about 2 weeks left, which means basically the remainder of this month. After that, you start going into, it's not a good injury. Okay, and then you give it an extra month. You start heading into this is pretty bad. And then the more you get the gist. And then 7 months, you're at ACL. Okay, that's awful. But anyways, biggest only tuned in, Blues. I do appreciate it. Not a super long stream, but I felt like we talked about a lot, Starting 11, look at the press conference and whatnot, checked out our injury updates, and stuff like that, and a little bit more. So, look, watch along tomorrow. It's just not a Man City one. Arsenal vs Fulham. We will be there. Biggest to you all, Blues. I appreciate the spot as per usual. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. And I'll see you all tomorrow.